What do you do when the law itself is written to destroy you? Not a law against stealing or violence. A law built so ordinary, so impossible to break, that the only way to make it a crime was to aim it at one man. That man was Daniel. Already old, already the most trusted official in the empire. He had every reason to bend just this once. He didn't. Stay to the end. Because the night they threw him to the lions, the king who signed his death warrant didn't sleep, didn't eat, and never stopped pacing his own palace floor until dawn. If this story means something to you, subscribe to. Let's begin. Decades earlier, Daniel arrived in Babylon in chains, a teenage exile with no family, no future anyone could see. The king's officials chose the sharpest of the captives for training, fed daily from the royal table, groomed to think and serve like Babylonians. Daniel looked at that plate of rich food and made a decision that cost him everything he was. I will not defile myself with this. He asked for 10 days of vegetables and water instead, a quiet rebellion nobody forced him to repeat, because 10 days later, he and his companions stood healthier than every young man who'd eaten from the king's table. Years passed. Kings changed. Babylon fell to Persia. Empires that seemed permanent turned out to be temporary. But Daniel remained. Under King Darius, he was elevated above every other official in the kingdom, the sharpest of 3 men entrusted to run the empire. Darius was planning to put him over the whole kingdom. Word moves fast in a palace, and nothing moves faster than the fear of powerful men watching their influence shrink in another man's shadow. The other officials went looking for something to use against Daniel, a bribe, a conspiracy, anything. They found nothing. No corner cut in decades of service. We will never find grounds for charges against this man, they admitted, unless it has something to do with the law of his God. So they built a law out of the one thing they knew he'd never abandon. They came to King Darius together, flattering him toward a new decree. For 30 days, no one in the kingdom could pray to any god or man except Darius himself. Break it, and you'd be thrown to the lions. And because Persian law could never be revoked once signed, not even by the king who signed it, this one would be unbreakable. Darius, flattered and unsuspecting, signed it. He had no idea what he'd just done. Daniel heard about the decree the same way everyone else did, after it was already law. He went home. His upstairs window faced Jerusalem, a city he still turned toward 3 times a day, out of a habit older than the men now plotting against him. He knelt in full view of anyone watching and prayed exactly as he always had. No secrecy, no adjustment at all. This was never really about breaking a rule. It was about which voice got to define who he was. The men who wanted him dead had been watching his house the whole time. They came to Darius, reminding him of his own unbreakable law, and then said the name he hadn't expected to hear. Daniel pays no attention to your decree, Your Majesty. He still prays 3 times a day. The king understood immediately what he'd done. He spent the rest of the day trying to save the one man he trusted most, searching for any loophole in his own law. He found none. So they brought Daniel and threw him into the den of lions. Darius said to him himself, before the stone was sealed, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." A stone was rolled over the mouth of the den, sealed with the king's own signet ring, so that nothing could be changed, not even by the king who wanted, more than anything, to change it. Darius went back to his palace and spent the night fasting. No entertainment was brought to him. Sleep would not come. Somewhere below, in the dark, Daniel was doing what he had always done, the only thing he'd ever done, in comfort or in danger. he was praying. The story stays almost silent about what happened in that den through the night. It doesn't dwell on the lions or the fear. It dwells on the king, pacing above, undone by what he'd allowed to happen to a man who'd never once given him a reason to doubt him. First light, Darius ran to the den, his voice already breaking. "Daniel, servant of the living God, has he been able to rescue you?" Silence would have been the expected answer. A voice answered from below. "My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight." The king was overjoyed. They lifted Daniel out, not a single scratch on him, because he had trusted in his God. Darius then gave an order, and the men who'd falsely accused Daniel were thrown into the same den. Before they even reached the floor, the lions overpowered them. The trap built to destroy an innocent man closed instead on the men who built it. King Darius then wrote to every people, nation, and language in his kingdom, "I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. He is the living God, and he endures forever. He rescues and he saves." The law built to erase one man's faith became the reason an empire was told to take it seriously. Daniel's story doesn't end with a miracle. It ends with a choice made long before the lions. The choice at a plate of food as a teenager. The choice at an open window as an old man, made the same way both times, decades apart. The den wasn't the test. The window was. What Daniel did in private, when no law demanded it and nothing was watching, is what made him the kind of man who could kneel calmly in the dark once the stone rolled shut. Maybe you're not facing lions, but maybe there's a version of that open window in your own life. A small, unwatched decision where it would be easier to just adjust. Just this once. Nobody's writing a law about it. Nobody would notice if you did. That's exactly where it's decided, long before anyone's watching. If this story meant something to you, subscribe too. And tell us in the comments which story we should tell next.